Welcome to the Hunkerin Stool World Headquarters. This is where it all started. So I've been working at developing in the Hunkerin Stool for 5 years, and today's video I'm going to talk a little bit how it all started. So as you may or may not have heard, the first idea came from a milking stool from my grandpa's dairy farm. And I had to come up with a better solution than an uncomfortable milking stool. So these were first some of my injection molds. This didn't really work out. I had to, I eventually want to try to be able, I don't want to give away my secrets. By the way, the Hunkerin Stool is patent pending. I wanted to snap the springs into place and have everything kind of stick into place, but as you can see, this didn't cut the cake. So then I needed a way to secure the springs inside of the stool. So I came up with this prototype right here. And I may or may not have something in the works to make the Hunkerin Stool more comfortable, but can't go into that right now. So this is my actual Hunkerin Stool. This is one of my evolutions of prototypes. And I was able to secure the springs where I cut out the plywood, and this did a really good job. But as you can see, it was really difficult to get into all these little nooks and crannies to get the springs secured. So I had to find a better way. So my buddy and I came up with an idea to secure the springs, and these are just pieces of plywood that we made. And these prototypes actually sit outside in my front yard at my big Viking fire pit, and they're used and abused. Oh man, and look back here, I forgot this. I put in some rubber gaskets. I don't know if you can see that. I put in some rubber gaskets trying to secure the top, and this didn't cut the cake. We came up with the metal one. So I got these laser cut, and I came up with these spring retention plates to secure the 3 conical compression springs into the plywood top and base. And this was the final idea of my prototype. And as you can see, once again, it sits outside at the fire, and it's been through a couple of Utah winters. So that's what we got to, and this is my baby. But one of the reasons I got you today is why I decided to use one of these conical compression springs. This is an OG spring that I actually never used. I never got it powder coated black. So I used to get the stools made at a CNC factory down the road, at a cabinet factory. And then I would have to take each board and I would have to router the edges. This one I didn't router. Sand the edges, and then I had a countersink for the screws to go in. And then I'd go outside, and with my brand, I would brand each natural wood. And here it is. Here's the brand. So I go and brand those. And so last year, out of my garage, I made over 1,000 stools here at the Hunkerin Stool World Headquarters. And I've had some help. So it's been super fun. But going back to the 3 conical compression springs. Boom. So then I'd have to get the springs from the spring manufacturer in Kentucky, and I had to powder coat them black, and then powder coat the spring retention plates black. And luckily, I was smart enough to figure out that I could buy black screws. So, and then here's some of my old plates, powder coated black. They're gorgeous, gorgeous. 3 conical compression springs. Why? As the spring compresses, it gets stiffer and stiffer. So by the time you get to this part of the spring, it's virtually impossible to compress this. I've got strong hands, and it's not happening. I can push this down a little bit. So then it takes the weight of the human body and it absorbs it. And so each individual, depending on how much you weigh, will sink down, and the spring will catch you just where you need to be. And obviously, the heavier you are, as in 300 pounds, the further down you'll sink. So you get further down and do a deep squat. So not only do the springs then absorb your body weight, they move and articulate with your body. So you can move forwards, backwards, side to side. You can go into a full 360 degrees and articulate forward, backwards, side to side, and move like we were meant to move. I call this active rest. We are no longer sitting static and allowing our bodies to collapse. We're able to engage our core, activate our glutes, open up our hips, and man, it has been such a fun journey to come up with these different prototypes along the way. And I'm gonna stop right now, and I'm actually gonna make a stool right for you guys, and we'll see how that goes. This may or not be the best angle to build a stool for you today, but I don't have a cameraman, so here we go. This is how you get it, straight from the factory. Last summer, I was not able to keep up with demand anymore. I built 1,000 stools out of this garage, and I kept on getting further and further behind as each week went by, which was an awesome problem to have. And so I got some help, went through a couple of factories until I found a phenomenal factory that was able to mass produce my stools and then get them shipped over here. And the box looks really cool too, check it out. So be careful. We were building these stools out of my garage. And last year, put my blade away, last June, I had a brand new baby girl. And her name is Sylvie Sky, and she's the apple of my eye. I tell you what, once you have a baby girl, man, your life changes. So last year, my wife, 9 months pregnant, we're taking the boxes and taping them up, and then I would load up my pickup truck and take the packages to USPS, UPS, and then I have to take some international orders. What a blessing. We've sent them to Kuwait, we've sent them to Israel, we sent them to Korea, South America, obviously Canada, and Europe, and even down under. They're hunkering down under. Can you believe that? I can't believe it. So anyways, so my wife is out here 9 months pregnant, wrapping up these stools, and we were shipping them off. And man, I tell you what, that was not from the faint of heart. So everything comes in the box ready to go. I used to handwrite all these, I don't know if you can read this. Thank you very much for buying our stool. Please enjoy, God bless, and hunker down. I used to handwrite each one of these stools till I couldn't do it. And so I'd be out here with my Allen wrench. I wore the nubs off of them, and I'd be out here working and trying to put all these stools together, and then I'd have to go and write thank you notes. And my hands were just completely just mashed and blown up, and I lost my dexterity. But anyways, so we still send you a thank you card. So everybody that does buy a Hunkerin Stool, thank you and God bless you. You help feed my 2 hounds that are laying right here and my chickens. Sorry for the mess. I'm building a chicken coop right now, almost done. And you feed my babies. The Hunkerin Stool you buy helps feed Sylvie Sky. Anyways, back to the video. As you can see, I love the Fibonacci spiral. If you know about the Fibonacci spiral, it's so common in nature, and it's something that I've always been drawn to. And so I was able to see these spring retention plates, and these springs spiral up like unto a Fibonacci spiral. So the Fibonacci spiral kind of helped in the design of these spring retention plates and these 3 conical compression springs. Well, we've had some fun reviews from the customers, and one of the reviews we had was from a son of a World War II Air Force pilot. The son went on to say that if it looks right, it flies right, or it works right. And so with this simplified design of the Hunkerin Stool, it looks right, man. Everything fits together. It's not rocket science. 3 springs, 6 spring retention plates, and it works. I'm also a 2nd degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There's my black belt. I'm a no-gi guy, so we get our, some of us get our black belts tattooed on us. And that's one of my favorite tattoos. Took a lot of time on the mat to get a black belt. But if I'm able to get somebody in a guillotine or a rear naked choke and squeeze and cut the blood supply off to their brain, it's a blood choke. 5-6 seconds, they'll pass out. Not because of lack of oxygen, but lack of blood supplied to their brain. And so if your brain has no blood, you go to sleep. And so my simplified design of my Hunkerin stool is just, it works. It's simple, it's precise, and it fixes the problem that I have, that I can't rest comfortably in a deep squat. I'm a big guy. I weigh 300 pounds. I'm trying to get below 300 pounds and stay there. But anyways, you get the idea. So check it out. Voila, the Hunkerin stool. I was able to put it together, and here we go. So when I mean the 3 conical compression springs absorbs your body weight, you can see how I can bounce with the springs as they absorb my weight. Then I rest on the Hunkerin stool and I keep 75% of my weight on my feet and 25% of my body weight on the stool. So I roll forward and the stool then tips over and catches my body weight. This is part of the unique design aspects of the Hunkerin stool, to be able to move and articulate with my body. And then I can start to open up my hips and all the rest of it. And then seamlessly transition into the Japanese Seiza pose. So now I'm opening up my hip flexors and my psoas, and I can lean back and really stretch out the top of my quads. And then my ankles and my feet are really getting stretched out on the floor as I've been standing up doing the previous video. So now I can go back and forth from a Malasana, deep squat, to a Seiza pose. And then we can even sometimes get a little funky and lean all the way back. And catch a hero pose. Yeah, I did legs yesterday and I was not warmed up for that. So many variations and variables to the Hunkerin stool. The stool is intended for rehab to performance. If you suffer from pelvic floor issues, this is a must-have for re-strengthening your pelvic floor and your deep core. While you actively rest, you can engage your core and strengthen up your pelvic floor. It's a beautiful stool. Don't take my word for it. Go and check out the customer reviews. Humbly thankful for all your reviews that keep coming in. Appreciate you guys, and it's definitely worth your money. And I give you a guarantee my product, and I guarantee it with a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. And if you have any problems, call me up. I am still customer service. I've sold thousands of stools, and I am still customer service. So call me up. I probably shouldn't be saying this now in case this video does well. But yeah, I'll answer your calls and I'll help you put the stool together. So thank you so much, and you better believe it's time to hunker down.